तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रान्विता या वीणां वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा पूजिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Good morning and welcome to each one of you. And as my teachers Dr. Ramamurthi and Professor Ramamurthi would like to start on exactly on time, so we respect that tradition and we continue. So I will personally welcome each one of you, Professor Bihari, Professor Chandra, Professor Suresh Babu, Professor Ramesh, Dr. Parthiban, Dr. Amitav, all of you who have come, and I know still a lot more professors are expected, and this is also online, so people will be watching it. So to give you an introduction of the book, because as the press also wanted to know the background of what this genealogy and memology is all about. In the Oxford dictionary, this word has already entered, and it came much later than the word gene. So as you can see, the genes you inherit from your parents, they also give you some memes. So what is a meme? So meme is a intellectual idea or a teaching, a Veda that is transmitted, and that is normally the role of the teachers who give you those memes, personal memes, professional memes, educational memes, and that is the importance that you can see. That is B. Ramamurthi and Dr. Indra Ramamurthi, and both of them were exemplary in that they spread a lot of memes, and that memes is what this release function is all about. Now where these memes, so you have to watch this. I'm going to show you something next. This is the textbook which Professor Ramamurthi bought, I think in 1948. That's what he has signed there. And this was his teacher from which he learnt neurosurgery. There Dr. Ravi always has this thing, I must get clarify. So now this gentleman, if you notice, the book is very highly annotated by him. And this gentleman was a student of Hugh Cranes, and obviously Cranes was a student of Cushing. So these memes pass on, whether they passed on to a teacher or to a teacher's teacher, it is there. So can you see the significance if somebody wants to be photographed with a book? I also would love that. And this is trying to show the connection that you have towards learning or Saraswati. So this is the institution they have created. This is the institutions they have created for which the custodian. So this we continue. As you can see, our residents and the department, Dr. Vasudevan, the head of the current department now, and we have been continuously bringing out books, multi-authored textbooks, which we are just continuing the tradition of our teachers. And these books are not just based on book reading, they are based on the actual giving of neurosurgery, the highest quality of neurosurgical care, evidence-based neurosurgical care to a huge amount of population. Today we are all gathered together to celebrate Indian neurosurgery, to celebrate excellence in neurosurgery, and that is the point I want to highlight, that although he created a department, from the very beginning Professor Ramamurthi stretched his hand right across the entire width and breadth of the country, going there, encouraging the formation of institutions for neurosurgery, and obviously his students took his message everywhere else. Dr. Tandon was a very important and equal contributor to this entire effort, and at this hospital, with the help of so many people, we are in a trust hospital able to give the current state of art neurosurgery to the poorest of the poor. In fact, we are not denying any patient on basis of this. That is one of the strongest messages which this textbook and this institution and my teachers have pushed across, that the quality of neurosurgical care should be towards everyone. And that was also the motto of Professor Sanjivi, who formulated or who sort of laid the foundation of this institution. Professor Sanjivi was Dr. Ramamurthy's and Dr. Indra Ramamurthy's teacher. So this is the first textbook. This was covered by my father. I still retain this. This is the textbook I read. And I was fortunate that this is the one which I have this thing, and this was the chapters of the book. I actually wanted to do this, but I won't bore you because that will be told, and there is a pamphlet sent by Professor Tandon which sort of elaborates how many chapters and how the book evolved. I'm just giving you a brief overview that this was the thing like that. This was a remarkable book, that neurosurgery in India and other developing countries has been a post-independence phenomenon. So I won't read that and bore you, but this preface we have tried to retain. This is on the foreword by Ramalingam Swami, where he says, this is a kind of book that I hoped for long would be written by Indian authors for use in India and other developing countries. I would like to say that perhaps now at this stage, it is the time that it is written for the rest of the world, because the quality and standard is so good that I feel confident. And Dr. Ravi has guided that and constantly kept scolding me for a long time and has made sure that that excellence is maintained. We have made sure that every person of significant contribution was represented in the book, and every author who had contributed earlier, we got another person to improve on their work with the consent of the previous authors. So this was Ramalingam Swami's foreword, which you can choose. Then came the second edition. As you can see, it was a 2-volume work, and it was also remarkable. It was a standard. In fact, I got so many messages that this is what we studied. This is what we studied. So this was the foundation of the neurosurgical excellence and self-reliance, that Atmanirbhar thing which is now become a fad. That was a fad with Professor Tandon and Dr. Ramamurthi in 1978. That if we are practicing excellence, it not only has to be documented, it is there. And so this was the next book. And then the 3-volume work. 3-volume work, which was this textbook of Ramamurthi and Tandon, was the volume 3. And as you can see, the huge number of contributors and people who represent all over the country. In fact, the Professor Anil Nanda, when he wrote a foreword, we again sought, because Professor Ramamurthi was very particular that the book has to be from Indian authors. So Dr. Ravi and we really have been very particular. Dr. Chandra and Dr. Bihari also contributed a great by increasing. I had a lot of fights with them saying that if you increase it to so much, it will never get over. But at the end, I apologized to them that I used to push them because I wanted the project completed, and which is a very, very important thing. This is Professor Tandon, and he is so happy, and I'm sure he would have already joined us. And this is Dr. Chandra with him, giving him the book and the updates on how the thing has come out. So this He also wanted to, he says that this is the last book he has written on language and cerebral function, and he was requesting that this also is released at the end of that function, and so we will do that at the thing, because I'm sure it's not going to be his last book. These two gentlemen, I have to really thank them for a huge amount of support, because Professor Bihari did a lot of haggling with the publishers, and you know the legal nuances. He was very particular that the royalties of the authors should go to the institution VHS and not to any individual, because we are asking hundreds of people to contribute, and so it should be a very thing. So he spent many meetings with them, and they were very difficult, but yeah, we got them to toe our line. I think that's a very neurosurgical thing, that we really do not get bowed by other people's opinions. So this is him in a more pensive mood. And so this act, whether the thing is perfect, so if we keep on trying to perfect it, sometimes the thing will never come. So I really take all the blame for any inadequacies which had crept into the book. That happens, but we have really tried. In fact, Dr. Ravi has gone through every single thing and made so many corrections, because it has to be perfect when it is going, and when we presume that it will influence world neurosurgery, it has to meet those standards which are prevalent. This was my tribute, thanks to Dr. Chandra when he was there, and I put him on the cover, and I would like that him in this theatre dress. He used to come inside, and he has, there's a very nice caption by Penfield, that the institution which you create should always outlast you. The institution is more important, the patients are more important, neurosurgery is more important than individuals.
This picture, can you just go back? And you know where this picture was taken?
Theatre in GH,
In the old general hospital.
Old General Hospital.
Institute of Neurology started. This was the picture taken when they started stereotaxy in India. 1964.
I've just repaired that atlas. The same atlas is there in our museum. I welcome each one of you to, we keep on trying to make sure that the museum is immaculately kept, and so you're all welcome to visit one library where the neurology books of Professor Krishnamurti Srinivas have been recreated and set, and the museum obviously where the lunch will be after this. So this is another lovely book, and I was fortunate to get Professor Spetzler to write a foreword for this, and this is an outstanding work, and it is based again on the very rich legacy of meningioma surgery which was there. That document had to be documented. This is a multi-authored, it is with authors from all over the country, and this has also been very well received and was reviewed well. So this is me. There was a meeting called Science in a Doctor's Training. So this is one of the last academic meetings, and I think that is Professor Valyathan, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it is Professor Valyathan. So he is there. And so with these words, I would say thank you to each one of you to have come and honored us. And at the end of the people who will talk, then the book will be released by Dr. Ravi Ramamurthi, because it is apt that the neurosurgeon is reading, and we will get the editors also to come along with it. Thank you so much. Can I request Dr. Janaki? She is the medical director of this institution. Dr. Vasudevan and Dr. Suresh Shadri are busy, and so they were not able to come. And Dr. Janaki has been a very important support for the academic activities. I still remember she took me to Delhi, to the court, because the national board has given us some trouble. But then she has always been such a strong support for the Department of Neurosurgery. I thank you, and I thank VHS for all the support they have given to us.
Good morning to you all. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to attend this function. Of course, I consider it a great honor to be present here for this book releasing function, because the book was written by the great Professor Dr. B. Ramamurthi and Professor Tandon. Dr. B. Ramamurthi, fondly known as Dr. BRM, was a pioneer and a giant in the field of neurosurgery with extraordinary professional skill. All his work are very praiseworthy. Dr. BRM was a good administrator also, because I have a personal experience on this, because he was a dean of Madras Medical College for a very long time, and he used to be very friendly with the students and the teaching staff and help them whenever there was a need. Dr. B. Ramamurthy, of course, Dr. Indra Ramamurthy, wife of Dr. B. Ramamurthy, was my teacher when I did my graduation in Madras Medical College, and she was an excellent teacher. Dr. B. Ramamurthy, I would like to say that he is maybe called as a benevolent dictator. He will get things done without delay, on time, and with perfection. But it will be done in a very nice way without hurting anybody. So it's one of the best qualities of an administrator. I used to have a great regard for them. Dr. Indra Ramamurthy also was an excellent teacher, and both Dr. Ramamurthy and Dr. Indra Ramamurthy are made for each other couple. And of course, the neurosurgery, the book, I'm sure the book will be useful not only for the postgraduates but also for the practicing neurosurgeons. Dr. Indra Ramamurthy and Dr. B. Ramamurthy were an excellent human beings, always ready to help everybody. The neurosurgery department of VHS follows the footstep of Dr. B. Ramamurthy, and one of the best department of this hospital. I wish the department success in all their endeavors. And my respectful pranams both to Dr. B. Ramamurthy and Dr. Indra Ramamurthy. And I am proud to say that I was one of her favorite students of Dr. Indra Ramamurthy. My respectful pranams to Dr. Ramamurthy and Dr. Indra Ramamurthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And while we get Professor Tandon on the line, can you, have you called him? Put him on main screen. Can you do that, please? Oh, lovely. It's a great boon that you can be global and regional at the same time because of technology, but only thing sometimes there are glitches. Have him. No, make him big screen, please. Put him on the full screen.
Gaurav, are you able to hear? Gaurav? Morning, sir. Can you hear us?
Morning, good morning.
Mo-
I can hear you.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. So, we are all waiting for your address, sir, in the inaugural function. So, the inauguration started with Professor Anil Pandey giving a welcome address, and we want to now hear you speak, and we are all looking forward for this, sir.
Thank you. Well, first let me thank the organizers, the editors, the publishers, and all those who have contributed to this wonderful fourth edition of our book, to invite me to say a few words in this what I call it temple of service created by my dearest friend, Dr. B. Ramamurthy. I could get carried away if if I start to talk about him, because our association was, from the very beginning, I came back to this country when he was already one of the most outstanding or the pioneers of neurosurgery along with Dr. Chandy. I thank my specially Dr. Ramamurthi and little later also Ravi, who took over most of the responsibilities as far as these books were concerned. I think Ravi spent as much time later on when the third and the fourth editions came back. At the time of the third edition itself, Dr. Ramamurthi was not in good health. But can you believe that when he was hardly able to breathe, he was still correcting the proofs of the third edition. So the fourth edition was the third edition. Ravi was the main contributors along with others. Now I must also acknowledge the Neurology Society, because that bound us together from day one. And the person who bound all of us together was Dr. Jacob Chan. And if you permit me, I'll just probably in that pamphlet that has been circulated to you, I'll try to put a very brief history of contributions that started from the Neurology Society with regards to education. Till our independence, there were hardly any books by medical professionals written on medicine or whether technical or academic or any. Surprisingly, the neuroscience community, consisting of, as I will just recite in a few minutes, from the day one were interested not only in developing profession in this country, but under very unusual circumstances, develop academic work and research. Now, I'm saying this because some of the youngsters may not have heard some of these names or the story of the beginning of neurosurgery in this country. As I said, Dr. Chandy started it in April, May 1949. Dr. Ramamurthi soon after joined at the Madras Medical College, and that in two years' time, in 1951, 4 people met in Dr. Ramamurthi's house, most likely, as I gather, on the initiation of Dr. Chandy. Dr. Chandy, Dr. Ramamurthi, Dr. Baldev Singh, and Dr. What is her name? I forget now. Please excuse me. This is old age catching up. Anyway, Dr. Narasimhan. The 4 people met and decided to start a society. In 1953, the society had a total of 15 full members and 43 associate members. 15 full members. And by 53, they already started a journal, the Neurology India. Have you heard of any other society to have done so? And how it was done? Because of these people's total devotion to the cause of, you may call it whatever name you want, but I can't imagine how they did it. How they always tried to embrace all the young people that came, like me. I came back to this country in 61, and I got a letter from Dr. Ramamurthi welcoming me to the fraternity of neuroscientists in the country. None of them thought themselves as they all thought of themselves as neuroscientists. And that is how most of the things develop later in life, which I have surprised them. Now, I tell you, the unimaginable thing that the first meeting of the society, which was in 1952, in 1954, the journal was edited initially by Dr. Ramamurthi for 2 years, and then by Dr. Kinde from Bombay, who was editor for 10 years. There were no need for it. And at one occasion, Dr. Chandi took out his own purse and gave some money to give the money to fulfill the remaining account of the journal. Yes, the journal was published. See, it was in 1966. Now already, you can imagine from, let's say from 60 years had passed. Journal was coming out. These clinical services were developing at a good rate. The training of neuroscientists were already started in 58 in the Lahore and more or less the same time in Madras. And 61, the first graduate in neurosurgery came out from Madras University. The All India Institute of Medical Sciences started its MCH course in 1966. And that year, the annual meeting was held in Newman's Tandon. And among various other things, I will not go into details, but I do not hesitate to show you the book. I hope you can see this book. It was produced in 1989 on our request. Dr. Ramamurthi and I persuaded Dr. Sunil Pandya to produce the book. And I still call it a Bible. Anybody wants to know any history of our society, our doing, our whatever we did, it's all here. And I will take this opportunity to request the Neurology Society to reprint this book, circulate it freely, as we did. We found money for it and circulated to everybody who wanted this book, free of charge. Anyway, in 66, when there was a meeting with the governing body or council, whatever we used to call it, it was said, we are very worried about the academic problems of our young people, and we should do something about it. And so what everything that is done in this country is to create a committee. And a committee was instituted immediately. Unfortunately, we do not have any detail of that committee's function. In 1972, the society met in my alma mater, Lucknow. And in that meeting, a result sponsor textbooks in neurosurgery and neurology to be edited by B. Ramamurthi and K.S. Pani, respectively. 72. At the same meeting, it was decided to create a committee. I don't know for what reason. I was asked to chair it. Dr. Ramamurthi and Mani members of this community, plus one more person, and to look after the postgraduate education problems in the country in neuroscience, not just neurosurgery. And so the work started. Whatever we did is already passed. I won't go into detail. But the book did come out. 72, sponsored by the Neurology Society. 78, the first volume of textbook of neurosurgery. I forgot to say, Dr. Ramamurthi, immediately after this meeting, he asked me if I would associate myself with him to bring out this book. So it was from the very beginning a joint effort between me and him. And you won't believe there were no computers, there are no mobile phones, there are no internet. Then all the chapters that were written mostly in an ordinary typewriter, sent a copy to Dr. Ramamurthi and one to me to correct it, then exchange of corrected copies, and then at the first opportunity when we met, we sent that down and decided which of the two corrections, either his or mine or both, will be accepted to change it. So, and therefore typing was done again. You could just put your computer and get your printout. As a matter of fact, towards the end, Dr. Ramamurthi used to come to Delhi quite frequently, and we would sit together in my drawing room or somewhere, because he stayed with me and I stayed with him in Madras. In the end, he said, now you come to Madras and stay with us for 1 week, and we will finalize the book. This is how it came out in 1978. And 1980, finally it was. And in the meanwhile, I had the good luck to be associated with the Book Trust of India. I approached them, and they took the full responsibility of total cost of bringing out this book. And the 2 volumes was sold for 150 rupees. Anyway, so that is 1980. The rest of the story I have tabulated here. You will see that in 1980 there was the book published by National Book Trust with Dr. Ramamurthi and myself as the editor. 30 authors produced 19 chapters only, yet it was in 2 volumes and 1,242 pages. Dr. Amina Swami, as the previous speaker mentioned, wrote the foreword for this volume. The second volume was published 16 years later. By the time the whole scenario of neurosurgery had changed, and the book had to be virtually revised and edited. And now we have 58 authors, and there are 111 chapters in the 2 books, and the total number of pages. I'm afraid I could get my second one was taken away by somebody and not returned to me, so I could get the last page of the second one. But anyway, it was more than 1.5 times of the previous. I'll the other volume here. And then again, at that time, we had forward by Dr. Sanjivi. There are lot of things written about isotope, ultrasound diagnostic, and chapter of neuroimaging covered more than 70 pages. So it was textbook of neurosurgery, but there was chapter on neurodiagnostics. This was very eminently written. Anyway, the 3rd edition came when the whole world of neurosurgery and neurodiagnosis had changed. That is in 2012. By the way, I retired by that time, 1990 to 2012, and you can have to. Now the book was published by J.P. brothers who have published the 4 manuscripts. And by the time his health had deteriorated. But in spite of that, he read the draft of the chapters till the last day of his life. And Roy Ram took over the full responsibility, very eminently, very patiently, and very devotedly. And therefore he joined me now as an editor. There were now 191 authors, and there were 8 foreign authors. All those foreign authors were Indians. And there were 212 chapters. Now imagine from 19 chapters to 212 chapters. This reflects the changes that have taken place in the whole field of development. And this book was now in 3 volumes. I find it difficult to lift one of them, but 3 of them I can't lift anymore together. So there were total of 2,397 pages in these 3 books, 3 volumes. What was there? History was repeated from antiquity to now, including that of introduction of microsurgery, skull-based surgery, etc. There was evolution of neurosurgical techniques, because he started the first book, there was no bipolar available. There were no microscope, nothing. These were already being introduced in the country. And then neurodiagnostic covered now more than 120 pages in this third edition. And it also included a chapter on electromagnetism. In addition, it added other disciplines, neuro-ophthalmology, neuro-oncology, neuroendocrinology, and neuroanesthesiology, including rehabilitation, etc. in the third edition. And so, here we are now with the 4th edition. I have only seen the cover of it. I'm so excited to see the 4 volumes. So I dread whether I will be able to now lift the first one at my age. But I now have collected from the data provided to me that the 4th edition, which is going to be released today, and now Ravi and myself have become consulting editors. Nobody consulted me anyway, but that doesn't matter. Put my name there. I am not objected to it. They did ask me whether I will be willing to do that. And the publisher asked me who should be the editor, so I suggested few names, and they, lucky days, included most of them, which are suggested. The 4 volume, the authors. But this time, there are many more foreign authors, and they are not all Indians. They are from other countries also, from US, from UK, from UK, from Middle East somewhere. I have only, there's somebody of it here, and to me, so I don't know if you see this. This is a summary of what is in the book. This would constitute a book in itself. Every chapter's title and author, etc. given. So we sat down and counted it the other day and got these figures. So there you are. Now I only wish I wish best of luck. All those, I first so diligently, so devotedly, without any. I never had any problem, and of course Dr. Ramamurthi was, if he had it, he would have solved it with 2 words only on telephone. We have now miles to go. Already changes have taken place in neurosurgery. New chapters have come in. New areas of disciplines have been included. One of them I tried to reflect in the book, the other book that you have very kindly agreed to release today. That is, we all talk about speech every day with our patients in our write-up with the clinical history, but we don't know much about it. So I thought, in my last effort, I'll write a book on speech, language, which most of the books in neurology, neurosurgery, and many other subjects equate as if they are synonymous words. Try to separate them and elaborate them for a very small book, but it had taken me 2.5 years to do that. And so thanks once again. Now my last request. Please continue this friendly, collaborative effort to continue this sacred task of taking India to greater and greater heights. And this time write a book, not Indian textbook, but a global textbook. Involve your friends and the very outstanding personalities in the field from different parts of the world. They will all agree to it, I can tell you that. You know that before our book came out, I and Dr. Ramamurthi both were asked to write chapters in the first book of tropical neurology that was published from Oxford University Press, edited by Sweden, for the first book of 43 volumes of Handbook of Neurology, 43 volumes. I think we have two or three other from neurology in that, but there were no neurosurgeons, to the best of my recollection. I don't have that. That also has been stolen from my library. Whatever is left, I could consult during the last few days when I was asked to have this honor to come and greet you, thank you, pray with you for all success of all of us together. Thank you very much. Very kind of you, each one.
Thank you so much, Professor Tandon, for all your support, encouragement, and your monumental effort in keeping the flag of Indian neurosciences flying very, very high. Can I now request my teacher, Dr. Ravi Ramamurthi, to say a few words?
Good morning, Professor Tandon, Professor Banerjee, I can see you, and my good friend Ganapati who is online, and all those assembled here, all the professors and students and others. I have actually been associated with this textbook right from the first edition. When it was being written, I was a resident in neurosurgery. So at that time we didn't have any textbook to read. So when the proofs used to come, I used to go through that. Not only was I given the job to correct whatever mistakes I found, especially in English, but also it was a good learning experience for me. But the problem with that book was, it was, as Professor Tandon said, it was commissioned in 1972, and the work was all completed by 1978. At that time, CT scans had just come in, so there was hardly anything written about CT scans. But it took 2 years by the local publishers here to release the book. So it took them 2 years to just print the book and send it to us for correction. We had to send it back, and as Professor Tandon told you, it is only 1,200 pages. So with that, the second edition we started in 1993-94 when my father and I got together, and we said this book needs revision. So we put that up together with Professor Tandon and Ramamurthi being the editors, and myself and Dr. Sridhar being the associate editors. We were able to bring the book out in 1996 through BI Publications. Then once that book was completed, I was getting intellectually bored without doing any academic work. I'm not a great one for writing papers and publishing in journals, because I believe that more than 50-60% of them are bluffology. So we needed the stimulus to write another book. So Professor Ramamurthi, Professor Tandon and me decided, why not we bring out an operative neurosurgery book. So that we started and brought it out in 2004 or 2005. Then I wanted to bring out a second edition of the book. But let me come to the third edition of the textbook first. So after 1996, then with all the advances taking place, about 2008, again due to intellectual boredom, said let's start the third edition of the textbook. So we got onto that. Professor Tandon and I became the editors, and at that time I remember Professor Tandon did not like to correct chapters on a computer. So we had to get all the chapters printed along with the references and post it to him. He would correct everything by hand and send the corrected chapters back. Then we had to incorporate all the corrections into the book. And his information and knowledge about the Indian references was phenomenal. He did not have a big library at home or anything at that time, but he would say this reference from this book, from this journal, and he would not just give the name of the article and the author. He would write the name of the article, the author, which journal it was published in, which volume, which pages. That was the amount of information that he had in his brain. So once we brought that out, then he said, why not revise the textbook of operative neurosurgery? And before I come to that, I forgot one thing. The first two editions were just called Textbook of Neurosurgery. So we decided that Textbook of Neurosurgery should have a name. Just can't be Textbook of Neurosurgery. So he said, let's name it Ramamurthi and Tandon's Textbook of Neurosurgery. Just like you have Bailey and Love's A Short Practice of Surgery, though there will be other editors and authors doing it, but the original name should remain. So that is how it was decided to rename it And that is the time JP Publishers came in because BI couldn't do it. And now coming to the second edition of the operative neurosurgery book, Professor Tandon and I decided we will be consulting editors. So Dr. Sanjay Bihari and Dr. Ishwaran were requested. Sanjay is already smiling at me. I'm not going to. But for some reason, I think Dr. Ramakrishnan got ill or something like that, so they couldn't complete it. So now I am urging them to complete it. I am giving them 2 years. Professor Tandon and I will be the consulting editors. You guys do it. We'll do the same work and complete that book in 2 years' time. Is that agreed? Okay. And that is for all the authors here who are also going to write. So then Professor Anil Pandey and I, we sort of decided it's time to get the 4th edition coming. So that's how we got down to it, added new editors, because I could not do the donkey's work sitting in Kodaikanal. I could only do the final sort of editing and correcting to make sure everything was okay. And that also kept my brain healthy, because many of the new facts which I learnt from the book, which was not there when we were doing the previous book. I learnt a lot. I had to go and read up some references, read up and find out what it is, and then see if that has been correctly done into the into the book. Dr. Mangal will know about it because he and I were the ones who were associated with it. So this is the whole story of this book, and I hope this book continues the next edition maybe after 7, 8, 9 years, because by that time there will be an explosion of information which is coming in. Now this was a medal that was given to Professor Ramamurthi by the Society of British Neurological Surgeons in the NSI meeting in 2016. It was actually a personal medal given by that society to him, so I got to keep it. Of course, the then president tried to grab it from me, president of NSI, but I said no, this is a personal medal, I will keep it. This medal, I think only over the years, I think only 9 or 10 people have been bestowed with this. They give this out only once in 9 to 10 years. So this medal, I want to hand it over to Dr. Pandey to be kept in the museum. With one proviso. Anytime the museum is closed, this has to be handed back to the family. It is not a whole time donation of the medal. If you're going to close the museum, it's not going to be used anymore. Something is there, this has to be handed back to the family. So, thank you very much. Thank you all for being here.
Is Dr. Vasudevan online? I was under a lot of pressure from a lot of people, including the publishers, being such a huge work. It's a really huge work. And years of stress were involved in this. That's why the timing that both Dr. Suresh and Dr. Vasudevan were not being able to present, we requested them to be online. And I'll utilize that time to make a few statements here. There was an editorial office which remains, like the museum is likely to remain whether Dr. Anil Pandey comes and goes, whatever it is. The museum is not only, it has been updated. In fact, recently I have put some of his personal instruments which were there with me, I had saved them. I have put them in the, along with the Boyle's apparatus which I managed to save. There were 2 of them. One I somehow got it up there, that is still there. And then we have put the instruments, the surgical instruments of Dr. Ramamurthy, especially the pituitary, which are as good as when they were probably bought. So that I have taken and personally, and that is there. In fact, there are more number of them, but due to constraints of space, I keep a few of them there. And obviously this metal will be there. There is no possibility that since he brought up that point, it is my, not my dream, or it is something which tells me that this institution should be named as an institute of national importance or international importance. So this is a very, very important thing, so that this legacy does not get destroyed. It continues to the future. It's a very, very important legacy. And that is why it is a pan-India effort. It's now, as Dr. said, it's a global effort. And before I request Dr. Banerjee, Professor Banerjee, because Dr. Ravi is very particular that Professor Banerjee also says a few words. So as they're getting ready, I would like to place on record the work done by my student Dr. Mangal Kumar Rachete, who did his fellowship, and he single-handedly, was liaising between me, Dr. Ravi, the publishers, and he kept at it. I was very, very fortunate that I got two engineers who also did neuroscience and who landed in place exactly when I was really in need of somebody, who had an idea about this. So the huge amount of referencing was done by them, and I'll continue this after Professor Banerjee addresses us.
Hello. Hello.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Oh, marvelous. Well, it has been a wonderful morning. I am sitting in the shade outside my small house, and it has been an experience. Lot of the stories, of course, one has been witness to, but today to get the whole thing in perspective has really been a joyful experience. I wish you record it and somehow they other publish it so that people should know in the future what went into the production of these books. I was so happy to see Ravi. I of course knew his contribution. I knew that his coding sometimes is, shall we say, objections to various parts of the publication and so on. But he has been such a great discovery over the years. And this was his forte. And congratulations, Ravi. I think I am truly blessed to have been a friend of yours. Well, good luck to everyone who is there. I am also growing in years, and it has been a pleasure talking today. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. So, we got, after Dr. Mangal, we got Joshita Ramesh, and she came, and she was there for quite some time, checking the references, because the publishers, to some extent, gave the shoulder to us, thinking that, we have got more experience with this. And we really did have. We got a remarkable library, which has been always updated and kept, and so probably the best neurosurgical library in this part of the world. So that was a resource. And then Joshita got her post-graduation in Germany, so she went on. And then I had the great pleasure of having another daughter of mine, Tianila Jamir, who is again an engineer and who is now at AIMS. She is continuing her studies, planning to do her PhD. So she took on the work. So she was the thing. So literally, going through each reference and making sure that it is the correct format, making sure that the plagiarization checks were done, making sure all the corrections of Dr. Ravi were incorporated, making sure that those corrections and that corrected chapters went correctly. So this was a huge amount of effort. And we had Madhumita, we had Rishi Perumal, we had a lot of people who come and stay with us to study. We had Dr. Madhumita, Dr. Rishi Perumal. Then Dr. Palit was my senior. He unfortunately passed away, but his daughter was interested in neurosurgery. So she came and she also spent time doing this academic work, and I'm sure her father would have been very proud of her because she did a lot of work. Dr. Anil Jackson, Dr. Haridharan, Dr. Ashish Yadav, all of these, they are resident. Obviously, their day is packed with patient care, but they all bothered to take care. Dr. Rahul, obviously, as a consultant in the department, was also very helpful. So now with these words, now shall I request Professor Bihari to say a few words.
Good morning. Professor Tandon, Professor Banerjee, Professor Janki, Mrs. and Dr. Ravi Ramamurthi, Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Ganesh, Dr. Partibhan, Dr. Sharath, Dr. Vasudevan, Mrs. and Dr. Anil Pandey, Professor Ganapati, Professor Amitabh Chandra, and Professor Vinay Goyal. You cannot imagine what an honor and privilege it is for me. Today is a day of poignancy for me. First of all, my own father was a neurosurgeon. His name was Dr. Pramod Bihari, and my mother is online watching this entire thing. And he was trained in Germany, but Professor B. Ramamurthi, Professor Tandon, Professor Banerjee, Professor Jacob Chandy, Professor Kalyan Raman, Professor V.S. Dave, Professor Bhagwati, Professor Sunil Pandya, Professor Kak. These were the people who were like dreams for me ever since I was a young student of 7th or 8th standard. And I also have Professor Ghosh here. Thank you so much for coming. But it was like a dream for me. And ever since then, there was no other subject that I wanted to take up except neurosurgery. When I actually got through my my MS, MBBS, and then I had to choose a subject. So they said, will you take up medicine and pediatrics or something? I could have done anything. And when I chose surgery, and they said, everybody said you're lying, but there was no doubt in my mind that that was the only thing which I actually had to do. The second reason why I'm filled with absolute poignancy is that every time I come to VHS, it fills me with so much of inspiration. The first time I came here was with Professor V.K. Jain when we had come for the course, and incidentally, this is the longest going academic course in neurosurgery in the country. And I had come with Professor V.K. Jain as a young assistant, and I could see Professor Ramamurthi actually operating the whole day at the age of 83 in a standing position with the patient in sitting position. I actually saw that with my own eyes. And that was the day when Professor Ravi and Professor Anil, I got to meet them. This is a long time ago, and I'm absolutely honored to be a part of this association. The second important thing which is of absolute inspiration is it's like a swar sandhi. You never use the word of Professor P. N. Tandon without Professor A.K. Banerjee. So you always say Dr. Tandon and Dr. Banerjee. You never use as you say Ramamurthi Tandon, you say Tandon Banerjee. It's almost like a done thing in neurosurgery, and this association is something that I'm absolutely honored, and today for both of them to be here is an amazing inspiration for me. The other important thing is that this is an outreach which creates immortality. in our lives, we do our own work, we do surgery, we look at patients, we do our own thing. But when we actually do things of outreach, we write books, we write publications, we make biomedical devices, it goes beyond our lifetime. And this is what gives us immortality. The real definition of immortality is, how does a person who is beyond your lifetime is actually influenced by you? And I think Professor Ramamurthi and Professor Tandon, and then Dr. Ravi Ramamurthi and Dr. Anil have really done so much for this book that I cannot say anything. There is another aspect which needs to be acknowledged. The youngsters who have really contributed to the book, I'm so grateful to them, because this is the hard work which nobody else wants to do. I'm also grateful to JP brothers. I'd like to name them: Pragriti Sabyasachi, Ruby Sharma, Richa Saxena, Pooja and Chetna Malhotra. Their background work in JP brothers, and of course there are several others whom we don't know, but their background work has been responsible for the beauty of the book and for all the wonderful things that they have done. So this is a book for us, by us, through us, involving all of us, published by us, used by us in our own country. I think we all need to be very, very proud of this. Swavalamban, or self-reliance in education, patient care, legacy of knowledge, device development, intellectual property, and performing the responsibility of being the citadel of inspiration. This is a responsibility that all of us actually have, so that the next generation is benefited by the work that has been done by the previous generation. And this book epitomizes exactly this endeavor. Finally, the point that I'm making is that in the future, what I see is that this book will not be just 4 volumes. Each volume will be a subspecialization in neurosurgery. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Professor Sarat Chandra to come and address the crowd.
Good morning, everybody. Respected teachers, mentors, teacher of teachers, Professor P.N. Tandon, Professor A.K. Banerjee, Professor Ravi Ramamurthi, so many other teachers here, Professor Ramesh, Professor Amitabh, Professor Ghosh, Professor Parthiban, Professor Janaki. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming for this function. And my apologies if I'm not mentioning many other people here. Online I can see Professor Ganapati. And again, apologies again if I'm not able to name each and every one of us. Professor Sanjay Bihari has spoken everything that needs to be spoken about the book. I did prepare something and then I found he has already spoken about it. So I think there is no point speaking about the statistics which has been put so eminently by Professor Tandon, who has given a wonderful overview along with Professor Ravi Ramamurthi. But I would try to give my own personal metaphor when I started getting involved in this book. It was, of course, an overwhelming task. And like Professor Anil Pandey was mentioning, we had a lot of disagreements and ultimately we agreed. I was very keen that the book should be expanded to a world class. And so particularly I was very keen about the epilepsy subsection for the neuroendoscopic subsection, because I found that these subsections were, and then at some point all of us agreed that it should move forward, and that's how teamwork is done. But before I started getting involved in this book, I wanted to know the definition of the value of book in today's age, because most of our residents don't read books anymore. They just go to ChatGPT and press in and you get a wonderful answer. So the question comes, is there any relevance of book in today's age? especially with the AI thing coming up in a big way. And this question always kept on persisting, but this question kept on fading as we progressed on the book. And today, when I see these 4 volumes, this question is no more a question, because this book is what binds us to the roots. It's not been created by something artificial, it's not been created by book. It's been created by hardened experience of so many of the authors, with a legacy of founders of neurosurgery in our country. And again, having that graciousness and that honor to have been inaugurating this book, in presence of those founders once again, Professor Tandon, Professor Ramamurthi, and I'm sure Professor Ramamurthi would be here in some form witnessing the inauguration of this book. So when you read this book, that question disappears, that indeed, as of today, we need a legacy, a root which binds us to the textbooks when we learn neurosurgery. You cannot just learn it through any kind of AI transcripts or something generated by Google. It has to be generated from experience of people. So we started the function in a very, very auspicious manner. We found the Purohit coming here and put the Ganesh, and it was such a nice and auspicious thing. We removed our shoes and then he chanted those very nice Vedic chants, and that's how we started. So I want to close this with a couple of Vedic chants, which has been my fascination for a couple of years now. And I will explain first what exactly this means. So it's a small few lines which has been taken from Krishna Yajurveda. So let me recite it first, and then I will briefly explain before I close my address. Bhadran karnebi shrunayama deva Bhadram pashyamakstabhir yajatraha Sthirrangai shustuvagam shustanubhihi Vaishema deva hitam yadayuhu Swasti no indro vruddhashravaha Swasti na pusha vishvavedaha Swasti na tarkshyo aristanemihi Swasti na brahaspatir dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bhadran Prashyami. Let me go back. Bhadran Karnebe Shrunayama Deva. O gods, may we hear only what is auspicious for us, which is focused for us, so that we may use we may only hear what is useful for us. And we may not waste our time listening to a lot of rubbish which is around in the world, and that is what this book fulfills. Bhadram Pashyame Kshabhir Yajatraha. May we only see what is auspicious to our eyes, and that is what we should see when we read this book. Sthir Angai Shustuvagam. Sthir Angai means let us have steady limbs and hands, which is required for us as surgeons, as we translate the knowledge in these books by using it on our patients, especially performing surgeries. And as surgeons, we need steady hands for us to do good surgeries. Vaishema deva hitam yadayuhu. May we enjoy the full span of our lives allotted by gods in whichever is possible. And our founders have amply demonstrated it. Professor P.N. Tandon in this age has written such a wonderful book, which we will release shortly. And may we also be able to follow at least part of these principles which have been laid down by our founders. Swastina Indro Vruddhashrava. Indra stands for fame, but fundamentally it means that let each one of us become beacons of light. Let us not absorb knowledge, but let us become capable of giving this knowledge to other people. Swastina Tarkshyo Aristanemihi. Tarkshyo is other name for Garuda, who comes from top, that huge bird. Let Garuda guide us. Aristanemi stands for a wheel of a rim which is unbroken. So let Garuda guide us in our life so that our life may progress forward like an unbroken wheel. And finally Brahaspati. Brahaspati is Brahma. Brahaspati, Lord of wisdom, sacred speech, bestow well-being upon us. So thank you so much again for this honor, this opportunity, this immense blessings of being part of this historical legacy which we are doing here in this historical place. Thank you once again.
Can I request Dr. Ravi to please come on stage, and Professor Bihari, please come. Tia, Mangal.
No, one is enough. No, Tandon said, like Professor Tandon said, it's difficult to.
Whoever is started has done a good job.
Come, Mangal, come. Yeah, you can hold the third. I can hold the fourth. Whatever you like.
Doesn't make.
Yeah. Dr. Chandra, you can go ahead and. Yeah, please.
So we now we do a pre-release of Professor P.N. Tandon's book. This is a very small but an amazing book, and it is a gift from him and has been very kindly published by Neurological Society of India. And it's been done through a grant from Department of Neurosurgery from All India Institute. And it's a gift from him which will be given to all the members of NSI and will be available for free in the website of NSI. And he has really put in a lot of hard work, and if you go through it, you'll find things which are not given in any other books. So we will have a short pre-release of this book. Dr. Ramesh, can come on the stage.
நம்பிக்கை விதைப்போம், வருங்காலத்தை வளர்ப்போம். தாகம் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் ஒரு மரத்தையும் அதோட சிரிப்பையும் வளர்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. இங்க நம்ம எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து
before
Is everybody coming? Thank you, sir.
Before I request Dr. Rahul Srinivasan to give the vote of thanks, I would seek your indulgence for a few minutes. And I express my gratitude to Professor Anil Nanda, who has written a really remarkable foreword. I will read it because it is so good that I was really impressed. It is an honor and privilege to write a foreword to this encyclopedic work on neurosurgery. Ramamurthi and Tandon's textbook of neurosurgery, 4th edition, is a comprehensive compendium which brings together recognized experts from across the subcontinent to contribute to a wide range of neurosurgical topics, from the intricacy of the spine to the virtuosity of skull-base surgery. Each chapter is well written with excellent illustrations and learning points. It will be a valuable resource for those new to the field of neurosurgery as well as for students and experienced practitioners. Thousands of years ago, the Vedas reminded us with the classic line, Acharya Devo Bhava, treat your teachers as God. And this book is a tribute to all the great masters of neurosurgery. The Russian literature gurus would pay homage to the great Russian writer Nikolai Gogol by saying that we all came out from under Gogol's overcoat. All neurosurgeons and most of us growing up in India would acknowledge an outstanding debt to Professor B. Ramamurthi and say that we all came out from under Professor B. Ramamurthy's overcoat. His legacy as the premier neurosurgeon of India is continued in this book, which he started and Professor Prakash Narayan Tandon continued along with a galaxy of current national and international stars from India. We found the book full of technical notes, wisdom and basic knowledge that would be a must for any neurosurgeon's library. It is also a profound tribute to India's talented neurosurgeons, a testament to their collective insight and a necessity for education of the next generation of neurosurgeons. Michelangelo is reputed to have said ancora imparo on his deathbed, meaning, and still I learn. That thirst for knowledge is not only exemplified but also ignited in this book, and we hope it finds its way into all the libraries of neurosurgeons worldwide, inspiring continuous learning. With these words, I really thank Professor Nanda for having gone through the entire compendium and summarizing it and writing such a beautiful foreword. Thank you everybody, and I request Dr. Rahul to Srinivasan to give the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon everyone. It is my privilege to deliver a vote of thanks on this occasion, release of 4th Ramamurthi Tandon textbook of Indian Neurosurgery. Our deepest gratitude goes to Professor B.R.M. and Professor P.N. Tandon, whose vision and pioneering contribution laid the foundation of this landmark book. Deeply honored by Professor P.N. Tandon present and Professor A.K. Banerjee present today. Our heartfelt thanks goes to Dr. Ravi Ramamurthi, Consulting Editor, Emeritus Head of Department of VHS, whose constant guidance and dedication have been vital in shaping this book. We are grateful to our Chief Editors, Professor Sanjivi and Professor P. Sarachandra, for joining us today and sharing their valuable insights. Heartfelt appreciation to Professor Anil Nanda, the Chair of Neurosurgery, Rutgers, US, for penning his inspiring foreword for this book. Our sincere thanks to Professor M.C. Vasudevan, Head of the Department, VHS, for his continuous guidance and support in nurturing such academic environment. Special appreciation to Professor Anil Pandey, whose tireless effort, perseverance and remarkable coordination with authors, contributors and publishers have finally brought in this monumental book to life. We are thankful to Dr. Janaki, Director, Academic Affairs, VHS, for gracing this occasion today. A special appreciation to our publisher JP Brothers for their expertise in creating this book and contribution to global neurosurgical education. We also acknowledge all the editors, associate editors, Dr. Krishna Kumar ji and Dr. Mangal, section editors, authors and co-authors for their invaluable contributions. Thank you VHS administration, staff, AV team and the housekeeping personnel for the behind the scene efforts. Finally, to all eminent professors present here, esteemed guests, colleagues, juniors and well-wishers joined here and online, thank you for being here to witness the celebration of knowledge and tradition. With this, I invite everyone for lunch, and you can visit Professor B.R.M.'s museum also in the vicinity of the lunch arena. Thank you.
Can we all stand for the national anthem? please join us for lunch.